Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time, a Wave Sports and Entertainment original presented by PrizePicks. My name is Bomani Jones. Clearly, this is a YouTube exclusive kind of sort of emergency because I would not be wearing this sweatshirt if I had thought I was working today. Anyway, Stefon Diggs, he has been traded to the Houston Texans. It's like a second round pick. It's like a seventh round pick. You know, it's loose change at the end, but a second round pick is like the big thing that's in this trade. And I didn't realize this, but apparently, I think it was yesterday that somebody said something about how Stefon Diggs wouldn't be nothing without Josh Allen. And he tweeted something to the effect of want to bet. Of course, I could just look down at my screen and find out what it was because I was just reading it. Here we go. This is the trade. The Bills are going to get a second round pick for Diggs, and they're giving up a second round pick next year. They're giving up a 6th round pick this year and a 5th round pick. And that is telling me some combination of the Bills really wanted him out of there. And on the other side, the league don't think he but so good. Like, I would have expected that you could get a little bit more of a haul for him. I'm certainly not thinking that the centerpiece of the trade for Buffalo is going to be a second round pick next year. Granted, it's the Vikings second round pick, but still a second round pick next year. Plus, they had to give up a pick in this draft and next year's draft to go with Diggs. I mean, I know, and I guess there's a salary issue. I guess I still would have thought that you could have got Stefon Diggs a little more easy than that. But anyway, this is it. On social media, it doesn't say what platforms, per ESPN. A social media user said that he wasn't essential to Josh Allen's success, and his response was, "You sure?" ? And that is what this all seems to be about. We have a very interesting case of correlation and causation. My good buddy Dominique Foxworth talks about this all the time. Josh Allen did not look like that guy. What guy? That guy, or more accurately, that dude, all right? He ain't look like he was that dude until Stefon Diggs got there. Is it because Stefon Diggs got there, or is that just the coincidental timing? Because last year, I don't think Stefon Diggs looked as good as he had previously, and Josh Allen, though at various points, looked different ways. But in the end, Josh Allen looked kind of like what we think Josh Allen is. Now, you're not going to convince me that you could just get rid of somebody like Stefon Diggs and everything be okay. You're not going to convince me that you're just going to roll up in the draft and go find somebody that's going to be ready immediately to give you what Stefon Diggs can give you. You might be able to go in there and get somebody who next year will be able to give you what Stefon Diggs gives somebody in 2025. But I ain't sold that you're just going to go get that guy in the draft. So here's what's about to happen here. You know how it is that like these cats, they get to the league or whatever, they get to the NFL, and once they get there, they mamas and their girlfriends and their family, all them people, they start coming to all your games, right? I don't know what happens. Everybody quits their job. Nobody got to go to work on Monday. I don't know, right? I have no idea what it is, but either way it goes, they start coming up and they show up at all your games, all right? That's what happens. I think we're going to have something a little bit different here. I feel like the Diggs family, which already, they got a little tough, right? They got the one boy that play in Dallas, though I guess it'll be easier now. They got the one boy to play in Houston, but you still can't be in two places at one time. And then they're going to have to be at the third place because they're going to be somebody from the family they're going to be sending the Bills games to hate. I don't know who exactly it's going to be, but I can't think of a circumstance under which, and look, man, this happens, okay? This happens. I tell this story from time to time. Don't think I tell it a lot, but I'll tell it, right? I used to do this TV show for ESPN called High Noon, me and Pablo Torre. We did the show together. And, you know, you have your times while you're making a television show where, well, I guess you may not know this, but like things ain't always the easiest. You know what I'm saying? Because like really doing a TV show with people, especially like in a co-host dynamic, I think the most appropriate comparison would be to like having a roommate, even if the roommate's your friend, you know? It's going to be some times, it's going to be some whatever, but like imagine that you the roommate, but the room is just really part of a bigger room and you got other people there. You know, it's just a lot going on. But anyway, I took a vacation and I can't remember where I went. I think I went to Panama. I went to Panama and then I went to Costa Rica, but I can't remember which one of them I was in. But for whatever reason, I wound up while I was gone checking out some clips of the show while I was gone. And I can't say that the show was necessarily better. It may have been. Not here to answer that part. But I can tell you, it sure did seem like everybody was having a much better time without me there. And I got to tell you, it didn't feel good. I made some calls when I came back. I had to have some lunches, be like, hey, man, it's me. You know, like that's how it goes. But I simply tell that story to say that sometimes you go look back at what's going on with the other people. I didn't want them to be unsuccessful without me, but I got to tell you, if they had been better without me, it would have been a humbler, would have been a little bit tough, okay? Stefon Diggs is clearly already certain that he made Josh Allen. We know this for the times that his brother done got on the tweets to send stuff out about how Josh Allen don't really be coming through. Like, it is clear the Diggs family has a position, and their position is that Josh Allen is actually holding Stefon Diggs back, as opposed to the prevailing sentiment, which is Josh Allen is carrying a whole franchise city on his back. That's how they see this. Josh Allen, he the problem. I don't know if he the problem for the whole team, but he the problem for 14. They seem to feel that. And apparently Stefon Diggs was very good at passionately making this point, because it also seemed very clear that everybody in Buffalo, including Josh Allen, was like, hey, man, let's just make this dude happy, dog. Like, on some level, they did decide. I don't know who made who, but Josh Allen did figure out that it was his job to make Stefon Diggs happy, not in the reverse. All right? Stefon Diggs is gone. Man, ain't nobody going to be more crushed about a team getting better without him if somehow Buffalo does that without Stefon Diggs. Now, never mind the fact that they done made all kinds of changes. We got all the is the window closed questions that we got to ask about Buffalo. All of this, everything else. Stefon Diggs is not here to see his old friends do well. No, sir, Bob. That's nah. That ain't it. On the other side, we now have Stefon Diggs playing for the Houston Texans. Let me ask you a question. Weren't the Texans the sorriest team in the league as recently as 9 months ago? Granted, it's before the games were played and everything else, but we all rested reasonably assured that they were sorry, right? That they was going to be sorry. We were so sure that they were going to be sorry that we thought that it was craziness that they gave up their first-round pick in this year's draft so that they could take Will Anderson last year, because they was so sorry that we could not figure out how they could give up what was going to be a guaranteed premium pick in the following draft. We couldn't figure it out. They just went and got Stefon Diggs. They have traded for Joe Mixon. What's this other one, this article? Danielle Hunter. They got him. H-Town, by the way. He a local. Anyway, they went out and got all those guys. Dog, they went from we sorry to we're trying to win the whole thing in a world where Patrick Mahomes still exists. They trying to take it straight to the house. I'm trying to think of who went from absolutely positively sorry to this fast, right? Wow. Here's the only thing, though. Don't these feel like the kind of moves that people make before they go into what ultimately proves to be a disappointing season? Like, they gave a lot of money to an old running back, for example. You know, my thing about free agency always is, and I mean, there's kind of no way around this. There are a few exceptions to this where, like, the cap situation makes it such that people got to make some hard decisions. But no matter what, in free agency, if you're picking up the free agent, you are saying that you want this player more than a team that knows more about that player than anybody else. And look, maybe you're making the right call. That's not to say that you're making the wrong call, but you have to know that you are looking at people who clearly have more information than you and saying, they don't know what they're talking about. Come on over here. And, you know, I don't always necessarily know if that's the best play for you to make. But shout out to them. They made that turnaround from being sorry to being this. Here's the other thing about this, though. And this is going to be real interesting to see. And I'm going to just tell you, this is just, I've seen some things in my life, learned some things in this world. Some of this is specific to football. Some of this is about the larger world, right? The bigger life, all of those things, okay? I'm just going to throw this out here right now. If Stefon Diggs is up there talking all crazy to that big old white man, CJ Stroud, you think it can't happen to you, then it do. Diggs is a throwback. We by and large, they kind of had got these diva wide receivers out of there. Even Odell Beckham doesn't really fit the principle. Like, we don't really have that much evidence of Odell doing a lot of complaining about getting the ball. We got that time he tried to scrap it out with the net and everything else, and with the Panthers that one game and all of that. But he wasn't really the guy going out there just being all mad because he wasn't getting the ball enough. I can't think of anybody outside of Diggs that's really made that kind of their MO in this day and age. Like, he's that guy. What guy, that guy? He's that guy. CJ Stroud, who ain't really inclined to go for it in that way. This is you now. These are your problems now. Like, this is what you do now. Good luck. That's all I'm saying. This move that Diggs is making, anything I've seen in my life over all this time of watching football, watching basketball, watching all of this. You know what Stefon Diggs just found? The place that he's going to live for the rest of his life. Because if there's anything that pro athletes love to do, it is move to Houston and stay forever. He ain't going to be down. He ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere at all. Like, I don't think he going to quite be James Harden. Like, James Harden, we talked about this. James Harden his whole life thought that he was a dude from LA. And then he found out, no, actually, I'm Houston, top to bottom. He got to Houston and learned very quickly. It was the place he was always meant to be. That happens to people, right? And for what it's worth, I was not meant to be there forever. But there's a bunch of other people. They show up, and the moment they get there, they realize, oh, snap, this is where I was always supposed to be. Something tells me that is the way that Stefon Diggs sees it. But I would tell him right now, he need to know this. CJ got just about as much clout as that boy Josh Allen did. You're going to need to figure out how to get along with him, no matter how it went at your last place. Otherwise, you're going to be playing the same game in another city. PrizePicks is the most fun you can have by winning up to 25 times your money. PrizePicks not only makes playing daily fantasy easy, it also makes using responsible gaming tools easy as well. PrizePicks wants their members to have easy access to the resources required to support their fantasy sports experience. So learn more at prizepicks.com/responsible-gaming or directly in PrizePicks' first in-class member support help center. And make sure you go to prizepicks.com/Bomani and use code Bomani for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/Bomani. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy.